at least once, but that's fine. They can listen to that.
Well, they are listening to it now.
All right. So, all right.
The pressure of
So let's
live podcasting.
live podcasting. So, I'm really good at this normally, so we'll see how.
Oh, I do love
What's
the
the
live
record
stream.
now? Is it 4 times that I have messed up and had to go?
That makes you a
4,
pro.
yeah, I think 4 or 5, yeah.
I'm trying my best not to laugh out loud right now.
He's had a brains. Pray for revelation.
That's what the moment of silence has been brought to you by Mark III.
Praise Junior.
Indeed. All right, I'm ready.
It's all you.
Hello and welcome once again to another episode of the Scrumcast 2016 over at handcannononline.com, where we may not know all of the leaked information, but at least we can't be knocked down. I am Goris, your host. I am joined by the press ganger formerly known as the guy, Mr. Dallas Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you?
I'm also joined by our Canadian troll Fraser, Deathhead Dice on the forums, as well as YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and all other social media outlets.
Usually on social media, if there's a response from TrollbloodScrum, it's Fraser.
He's supposed to respond to that, not you.
I've outsourced.
Dallas is filling in, I guess.
There we go.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing quite well. Thank you for asking.
Excellent. All right, so we've got some pretty interesting stuff to talk about on this podcast, but that will come after we've droned on about the most uninteresting things, except for what's in the news. Fraser, Battle for Breath went on last weekend. Somebody got the axe.
They did.
Tell me what happened.
Yeah, so we had Battle for Breath in Cambridge on May 21st. We had, on hindsight, holding it on the Canadian long weekend in the middle between Mark II and Mark III release probably wasn't the best time to have it for the attendance. So we only wind up having about 9 guys show up. But man, these guys were fantastic. We did the food machine rules. They were some of the most broken ass lists I've ever seen. I'm actually have them all. I'm going to post them to the Battle for Breath page. But some of them are just awe-inspiring. The nastiness that they brought. But between these 9, actually 10, because Bubba showed up after work. Between these 10 individuals, we were able to raise $1,450 from 10 guys. So a big
Nice.
A big shout out to all these guys that came out, and they just had a blast. We had lots of fun, and that brought our overall total for Battle for Breath up to $4,111. So for everyone who's participated and donated, a big thank you, and it's a huge thing for me, and I appreciate everything that everyone's done, and for CF obviously the recipients of this of these donations. So yeah, we gave away Wrathrock. Wrathrock went to a fine gentleman down in Texas. The Earthborn Dire Troll that Schnauzerface Minis donated is heading over to the UK.
We'll put that baby on screen.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
my webcam won't do it even remote justice, but man, this man can paint.
Ooh.
Everyone's talking, and I can't. It's not staying on my screen. There we go. Man, this guy can paint. It's like this is gorgeous. And ironically enough, one of the prizes was won by our very own Aaron the Dreammaker, who did a huge amount of contributions to the event.
Absolutely, well deserved that.
It's all that whole karma thing. So, but overall, it was a great event. Picked up some pointers for next year, so we're going to be doing it again next year. Going to get Tim Banky to give us a hand and on the hosting location. I'll do it down in Hamilton, so it's a little bit easier for people in Toronto and the northern New York State area to get to us. So we've already planning that have those plans in the works. So overall, fantastic event from only slightly biased because it was mine, but the feedback's been really good, and thanks again to everyone who's donated. It was really appreciated.
I can tell you from experience that doing events like that for charity is some of the most rewarding work that I've done in the War Machine community. When you can actually make some effective change, with all of the people who love your hobby so much, it's highly rewarding. I can't say enough about it.
Yes, very much so. Sorry, I was being distracted by my wife with something, so I apologize. Again, professionalism in podcasting. But it's very true. It was a lot of fun. I was convinced I made the internet hate me for the amount of spamming I did of all the different things, but no one actually openly told me they hated me for it. So I took that as the exception to keep doing it next year.
Indeed. Speaking of which, Battle for Breath, May next year. Be ready.
The spam will start earlier next year.
Oh yeah, he has the TrollbloodScrum's ear now. There's no getting away from it. So be ready.
Well, you're gonna have to have another weapon made.
Actually, maybe that's anyone who has suggestions on what other troll weapon Aaron can make, because he's looking for inspiration. So
Grimm's rifle.
Ooh,
Wait. Hold on. So we have to talk about that for a second. Because there's one that cuts your arm off, shoot it, and then there's the one that's functional.
I'm just worried that if he makes them, he's going to make 2 of them, and then he's going to wind up giving you one of them, and then Dallas and I have to fight over the other one. Well, I can't fight for it because I can't get it. So we have to make sure that this works out a little bit differently than last time.
All right, I might have. So how about this? What I'll do is I'll relinquish custody, but that requires you to show up at lock and load. So like next year, if he gives a second weapon, I will relinquish Wrathrock to one of you, and then we keep passing it around, and we get to display them all in our homes over the course of the year.
Oh, hey, now there's something there. I like that.
And I've already laid the groundwork for lock and load for next year, so this actually may very much work.
See, hey, I'm a charitable fellow.
As long as you give it back to him when your year's over.
But wait a minute, does that mean Dallas and I are getting your sloppy seconds? Is that the way this is working?
Oh,
no. Let's not think about that. Let's not. No, what Wrathrock and I do in the privacy of my home is none of your business.
Now I feel dirty.
Good thing we're on after. Good thing we're on after 10 o'clock.
Oh man.
Yeah, welcome to the Scrumcast, folks.
Yeah.
Where we are laden with innuendo all the time. All right, so now that we've talked about the success that is Battle for Breath, and you raised how much? 4,000 something, right?
Yeah, just 4111.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Nice.
Like I said, it's so many generous people out there. It was fantastic. So complete success. Excellent amount of money raised. Lots of generous people, not just donators, but people who provided material to be donated. All those people doing great work so that you guys could donate to a great cause. Looking forward to your efforts in the future. But now we're moving on to the thing that's on everybody's mind right now. So the internet is a buzz with everything that has been leaked. And now we here at the Scrum are working on the information that everybody else has, all the stuff that's on spoiled Facebook groups, anything that's hit any forum, Reddit, that type of stuff. So we are going to go over what's been spoiled on the internet. We're going to take it as fact, and we are going to give you an analysis. Now, today, I can see Dallas is wincing here because he's just like, oh, God, I don't actually know what I'm going to think about all this. Today, we are going to go over the information that we've seen about Warlocks. Now, what we have now is compiled information about what has changed about your favorites in the faction. So we're going to go down the line alphabetically because we are a precise and perfect podcast.
It's because I have OCD and made a spreadsheet.
Don't quote me on that. And we're going to talk about each individual Warlock, how they've changed, and our thoughts on it. Now, Dallas, you put this together, so I'm going to go ahead and let you start it off. Now, this is my boy right here, Borka.
Keg Slayer.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, and Matt kind of alluded to it, but we don't know if this stuff's true or not. But we're going to do this podcast as if it were, and if it's not, then we suck, and if it is true, then we're awesome. So
We are gypsies, like alone.
so Borka won. First off, he went from War Beast points 5 to War Beast points 28. You'll notice that that's about average for trolls for War Beast points.
Which is actually a pretty interesting statistic, because when you look at models across the board, they increased in cost roughly double, but Borka's War Beast points went up by a factor of 5, effectively.
Yeah, almost 6. Yeah. Nope. So let's start off with what presumably he lost. Brain damage on his melee weapon, and the spell Iron Flesh are no longer. Those would be gone. Brain damage apparently is replaced with critical pitch.
Holy moly! What a spell, or what an ability!
Yeah, get a crit there, and that's fantastic.
I mean, it's only 4 inches, but it's like, hey,
is it 4 or 3?
He's strength 9, so it's actually 4.5.
I think it says
because you round up. Because he's strength 9. He's definitely strength 9.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, he's
keep
one
going,
of the
keep going.
strongest trolls in the faction. It's him and Horthel are both 9. But critical pitch, that is excellent. Unless they cap it at a specific distance, which I don't think they did, without looking at the direct wording. That's super good. Like
here's what it says, or what it might say. Equal or smaller base, thrown D6 inches directly away. And the power the power of the collateral damage is equal to the strength of the model,
which would be 9.
Correct.
So it's like a slam, except only random distance, just the same. And he would be knocked down, and he would, and models would impact models of same size base or larger, and take additional damage, right, when they hit, if it's larger, or is that just slam? Oh, nope. PG Brain's gone. He's been out too long.
I had it on mute. Sorry, guys. So it's the collateral damage is POW equal to half the model's strength.
Yeah.
Half the model's strength?
Yeah, exactly.
No, the POW, it's equal to the strength of the model.
Yeah, and he flies over models smaller, and then he hits anything larger, and then everything hits knockdown.
Right, and it doesn't deviate; it goes directly away.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So critical pitch, solid. If you get a crit there, I think we'll be going fishing for crits more often. And I think Bork is Mat 7, right? So
yeah.
that's a fair chance of hitting, anyways. So no change to his feet or any of his stats. The other change was arcane. Oh.
Yeah, a spell called Arcane Ward.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Arcane Ward, which is way better than Iron Flesh.
Well, and here's what it's been spoiled on the internet as. I will go ahead and give you a rough estimation on this one. So, let me pull it up here because I'm totally ready for all of this.
Cost 2, range 6, upkeep. Yeah. Target friendly faction model unit gains +2 defense and cannot be targeted by enemy spells.
And then models that are out of formation don't get it because that's just
that's kind of a thing they've put on a lot of spells.
Which is well, I think they did that
makes sense.
They did that probably because of the way that the formation rules worked then and now. So, and then of little consequence, the Keg Carrier is relatively the same. Well, all the same so far as we can tell.
Yep. Keggy didn't change at all apparently. So.
The overall power level of Borka there. Oh, and feet is basically the same, which is +2 inches of movement. Beasts, and actually, beasts now get to charge power attack and slam for free, and at the +2 inches.
Right.
So that's pretty good. Borka overall, his power level is really good because like his other abilities all stayed. He's still unyielding. He's still high armor, so he's 14, 17, and so +2 from unyielding, and then we also have stone, and he still has stumble drunk. So Borka's still that like really, really super hard to kill thing, and if he has that the +2 defense on him, he's 16, 21 engaged. It's pretty great.
Yep, that is good.
Yeah, he's a little bit nutty. I think it's better. I think the Iron Flesh was good, but I think this is better.
Yeah, I think so too.
I played my fair share of Borka, and I would have liked this much more in Mark II than.
Yeah, the +3 is far less tilting, and the not being able to be targeted by spells actually makes it much better, because then you can't just like negate it with a lucky spell roll. So that's pretty good overall. Borka is also in one of those situations where he's one of the few threat range increasing warlocks in the game, which means that now where people have sure knowledge of what you can do, he actually dictates positioning of the game very, very specifically, because they know, holy shit, very specifically, I'm going to get out threat by most of the stuff in your list with trolls, like whether he's bringing Long Riders or Fenblades. Fenblades with him are going to be freaking insane.
Yeah,
I'm so looking forward to those.
And we'll talk about those later, about the Fenblades.
In a later episode when we go over infantry. So, I think this is a net gain overall. I think he's going to be just as good, and you take into account that he's basically going to take an extra whole beast for himself, which could be an Earthborn. With that Animus all the time, seems good to me. Or it could be a bouncer and then take a mauler. Like the possibilities are endless, folks.
And the other thing that may be on the card when it finally comes out is they have actually named him a Northkin Trollkin Warcaster, or Warlock, sorry. So that Northkin may be something that's relevant going forward as well.
I bet you that's probably going to be a tier list properly going forward, is the classification of what troll they are as far as what tier list they can be in. So,
agreed.
Well, we will see. All right, so let's go down the line and we'll talk about my other boy, Borka 2, that I've played the hell out of. So, Borka 2 was one of my personal favorites in Mark II.
He's a lot. I think he's a lot better. But go ahead.
I agree. But we'll go over that. So, as you know, a lot of cavalry models have gained new rules, mostly the reposition rule, which is actually all over Trollbloods right now. So, Borka gained reposition 3 inches, which makes me wonder if the ride by attack rule still exists for cavalry. We'll see. So that means he could potentially move 7, hit, back up 3, or cast a spell back up 3, any number of those other things. He's still a combat rider. His beast points is actually 29, up from 26, which is freaking fantastic. Again, almost an increase of 5-fold. Now, the really cool stuff is that his mount has apparently changed. So, he has, in addition to critical knockdown on the mount, he also has trash, which is additional die damage on models knocked down. So, his combat rider is so good. In addition to that, he's also got critical brutal damage on himself, is what I'm reading here, if this is correct. We'll see. Battle charged, it got changed.
No, he lost critical damage.
Oh, he lost. Oh, yeah, apparently.
That's the lost column.
Well, hey, the crit knockdown is still there though. You put that's in game. The weird way that Excel displays all this stuff is strange.
No, just so because I want to make sure I'm clear on this. So with the critical knockdown, so the trash ability, so your old crit, it knocks him down. So that trash happens immediately. It's not the next action. Okay, excellent.
No.
Just want to make sure.
Yes, it's excellent. And then apparently they changed the way that battle charge works because of the way that counter charge got changed.
Yeah.
So that's it. It's just a wording change, not an ability change, effectively. So Borka himself just got more beastly. His feet stayed the same, so he's still got a time walk feat. Beasts are cheaper relatively across the board, and he's got more of them all the time. This seems like a win-win to me. Dallas, what are your thoughts?
I was waiting for. So I think he's great. I think in Mark II he was like almost great, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he just needed to be tuned just a smidge, And I think they did a good job there of just kind of giving him a little nudge to what he needed. Plus, the extra War Beast points are going to be fun on him because he still has the same shenanigans and stuff with the stealth and stuff. So that's going to be pretty fun, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, basically now you're looking at a free light and a free heavy for Borka at any point in time. And you could also still bring like an Earthborn and an Axer, no problem for when you want it. And so that seems like a pretty good bargain. In addition to that, he gains so much more personal threat. Like, he now has the ability to just really wreck somebody in melee. Like, that is crazy. Fraser,
Fraser, you're supposed to talk in the.
Sorry, I was not doing a good job.
I was reading. So I'm looking at reposition because I'm still trying to figure all these things out. Now reposition. I mean, it gives you the 3 inches, but you don't get it if you run or you fail a charge. So you're still doing your regular movement. So it does give you that, but it's also situational where you're not be able to move those additional.
I thought that those clauses got rode out of that.
Yeah.
Different than the way that Reform worked. I'm pretty certain reposition is different.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, the new reposition or old reposition, or was there reposition before?
Before it was Reform.
Okay.
Reform meant that if you ran or did not make a combat action during your activation, you could not reform. I'm pretty certain reposition is just a flat 3 inches end of your activation movement.
There is a caveat that if you did not run or fail a charge.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
so I've heard.
Okay, so if you charge, you're fine.
Yeah.
But if you run during the charge instead of attacking, or if you fail the charge, so you'll either successfully charge, so you can reposition, or you won't successfully charge, either by running or failing, and then no reposition.
Yeah. I mean, what it seems to me is like it's preventing people from running turn 1, then using reposition to move that additional distance.
Yeah.
And getting that much further across on turn 1.
Casting spells, failing a charge, and getting the extra inches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. That being said, again, I think that this is just a net boon for Borka too. Like, it's actually just better across the board. He's still awesome. His feat's still awesome. He's more combat effective, and he can take more War Beasts now. Yeah, seems good. Hey, more stuff that makes you stationary, and is hard to kill, and is immune to cold. Seems pretty good. So, Dallas, I'm going to go ahead and let you take the next one. We're going to talk about the Tipsy Gypsy, Miss Calandra.
My girl.
Oh,
it's my girl.
Oh, Calandra. So she lost Mercy Killer.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Damn, she doesn't want to be in melee anymore?
I know. What the heck? Her War Beast points are 27, which puts her at tied for the lowest. No, second lowest for trolls. There's only one lower, which is, not, like I said, no big deal. It's about average, 27, 28 is where trolls sit for the most part. They also changed Befuddle. They dropped Befuddle and renamed it Confusion. Other than that, it's exactly the same as it was. And then Bullet Dodger, this is a cool one. So Bullet Dodger changed. Bullet Dodger used to give you +2 defense on ranged attacks, and then evasion. Now it gives you just a straight +2 defense.
Wow, that's really good. That's a net gain right there. Did she lose the move after?
Let me see. I don't think so.
With my with what
yes,
I've
they have dodge. She has dodge still. Yeah. Dodge still.
Yeah. So sweet.
So she can still move. That's awesome in melee. That could be potentially cool.
Yeah.
And then they changed the name of Force Blow to Misfortune, which is good. I think my notes I said they name changed from Force Blow to Misfortune because Calandra is a classy lady after all.
Absolutely.
So they changed that, and then the big thing with her, and probably everyone's favorite change, is they finally increased the fury of one of the Trollblood Warcasters.
Oh,
she's now Fury 8. So all y'all thinking Wrong Eye with Starcross is a good idea, you can suck it with Calandra's Fury range 16.
So good.
Oh yes.
Range 8 versus 16. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
and now Starcross with a few of the death buffs we're getting, or things we can actually, Starcross will actually help us.
Oh yeah, yeah. Across the board, we have slightly higher defense than we had before, and a few better defense buffs than we had before. So the net gain there on defense is pretty solid.
Man, I love it. Her
Yeah.
kit's the same. She plays the same. She does the same
She's
stuff.
identical.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's identical to how she was. Her feat hasn't changed.
I
Her
played
her reroll hasn't changed. Her
I
stats
played
are
her
identical.
so much out of tier back in Mark II. I am
Yeah.
ecstatic for this. Like, this is going to be amazing. Do you know how many people I'm going to kill with Dozer and Smig and a bomber now?
Well, this
Like,
is my
Dozer
learning
is
curve.
going to be like, hey, downtown, bam.
Well, this is going to be my learning curve casters. I mean, I'm going into Mark III having a caster I know forwards and backwards, which is for me is ideal, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be good. I think you'll enjoy playing Calandra in Mark III.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Lots of solid beast options if we get to those tonight, probably next time. But lots.
Even more than that,
Lots
like, he turns infantry up to 11. Like, we already know a lot of the infantry get way, way better. And, like, champions are the ones where you're just like, what do I do about this unit? I mean, I don't know. You can't kill it with blast damage, and you can't remove it with direct damage unless you're super high mat. Like, that unit's just gonna walk across the board, and you're gonna be like, well, crap. I guess I have to get in front of this before the rest of my army kills it or it gets killed by it, because champions are still really good at output as well. So,
of course.
I just.
And still being able to buy that critical reroll with a Fury as well. I mean, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, man, I'm super happy about that. I think this is gonna be great. Super good design space for Calandra. She's gonna be awesome, and it's going to make it so EE doesn't matter at all anymore. Like, that's just the way it will be. That being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next set. This one has really, really excited. It's Gunbjorn. So, Gunbjorn got Killshot as a field marshal for his beasts. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And his feat basically says that range damage does not affect anything in the area, which is a huge improvement from what it did before.
Agreed.
Now it also still means that you can't be knocked down, can't take blast damage, and you gain effectively all of the effects of cover. So, super good there. Way better than before. And the do not suffer damage from range attacks is... I can't even explain how much of a power increase that is. I mean, it's basically 100-fold.
Agreed.
You just can't get around it.
Well, it's a relatively minor change on the feet line, but it's solid.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the effect is different. Like, better, way, way better.
Well, it makes them playable. I mean, not very many people are playing because the feat before wasn't really a feat. That's the biggest complaint everyone had.
Yeah, because I don't think there's really a problem with the spell list or any of the other, but it's just the feat was just completely unusable. And it didn't help the army get there, which was part of the problem. Now, the other thing that changed about him was Explosivo, which we've already seen. The wording specifically states that the weapon still keeps all of the effects that it has for the direct shot and the blast damage when it directly hits, I believe is what it says.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So you can look forward to lots and lots of beautiful corrosion damage on slag troll hits, things like that. So Pretty awesome there. 28 War Beast points, so he'll have lots of ranged beasts to play with. He's got a great gun still. His stat line is unchanged. He's hard to kill. He still has rock wall. All of the wonderful things that he has. I see Gunny being played a lot.
Well, especially
go ahead.
Especially since he's the only one who can actually dole out snipe now as well, since the Animus is limited to the Impaler, so he can actually hand it out. So you're going to see even more long range long range shots coming from. The only question is at Fury 5, is that still focus efficient or Fury efficient, or do you think would you have liked to see it
Well,
go up to 6?
he's a 6 base.
Oh, is he 6?
So
Oh, why was I thinking he was 5 for some reason? My bad.
no, he's 6 base. The only
Okay.
5s are Matrax and Borkas.
Ah, there we go. Okay. Can you tell I haven't
No,
played him?
Gunny's a 6 base,
Oh,
so
that's
he's actually pretty Fury efficient.
excellent.
Depending on whether or not he wants to upkeep or use snipe as like an animus specifically, which I don't think he actually needs. He should just be able to cycle instead, since it only costs 1. And then using the rest of his Fury for Guided Fire if he has a big battle group, or just moving and replacing rock walls if need be. He has so much scenario potential, and with the way Tough works now, being able to deny knockdown for a turn means that the enemy will have a super hard time trying to remove your stuff. So
Agreed.
it's going to be pretty awesome.
And I'm looking forward to playing him because this is this was the model that got me into the Trolls in the first place, but I never actually put him on the table. So now that he seems to have a lot more going for him, I definitely want to give him a try.
Indeed.
Okay.
So do we have Dallas back, or is he still baby bound?
He's looks like he's
Still
trying to
baby
get
bound.
the little one to sleep. So
He's noisy. Gosh dang it. He's just noisy. He's a noisy little friggin' troll whelp.
just
Yeah,
like father, like son. Is that the way it works? I'm glad he's on mute. We don't want to hear what he's saying.
He lives up to his namesake, right, Dallas? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Do we want to move on to Grim?
Yeah, let's move on to Grim. All right, so Grim 1. Let's talk about what he gained first. So, the feat wording got changed so that it's not just star attacks, not just weird magic attacks. It's basically gotten changed to include power attacks. So if you're under the feat, you simply cannot make power attacks, whether you're a Warlock, War Beast, whatever.
Okay.
And instead he changed spells to Man Trap. I'm assuming that's the one that changed for in favor of Mark for Death. Don't think I have the text I've been given right up in front of me, but we'll see.
He lost lock the target, got man trap.
Ah, there we go. See, I'm not good at reading this spell list. So lock the target. Lock the target for Man Trap. Man Trap, I don't actually know what it does.
Warrior models hit or knock down. It's a
There
cost 3, range 10, POW 12, AoE 4.
Well, you have it in front of you, so I'm gonna let you take it.
Yeah. So and yeah, so it's range 3, cost 3, range 10, AoE 4, POW 12. Warrior models are knocked down. Hit, become knocked down.
Damn.
That's see, lock the target. I mean, I used that a bit when I was playing Grim, but it sounds like Man Trap has a little bit more potential.
Yeah, I mean, it drains his fury a little bit more, which means you need to be careful about where he is, most specifically because he's got a short cast range on it. I think it's 10 inches because it's an offensive spell.
Correct.
So
I just used the Rune Bearer.
you could do that,
Yep.
who has now a static magic ability of 6, but
same with
even
this
then-
one. I mean,
yeah, even then you're still taking a risk.
true.
But and then he gained World Secrets instead of Cross Country, which is sad. World Secrets does not ignore LOS through forests.
True.
Yeah, pretty much they made it super hard to ignore forests across the board, even for Legion. So forests are now a big deal.
Yep. As they should be, really. I always thought that was a bit of a poor design, is being able to shoot and target things through forests. Didn't make a lot of sense to me logistically.
Yeah, it was definitely very the way that it worked previously. All right, Dallas, you want to lead the way on Gristle 1? Sounds like you've got a much quieter toddler now.
Yes, I can certainly try. We'll see. He's a super grumpy little turd. Of course, because I'm trying to record. This is quality in broadcasting again. So we're going. Do you want to do Grim 2 or Gristle? Let's do Gristle. We'll just go down the list. So Gristle went from 5 to 29 beast points, which is again trolly. She lost on her weapon critical smite. That is gone.
Oh darn.
Yeah. Oh darn it. In its place, she has Deafen, which is also on the Mountain King. She has it on her melee weapon and on her fel calls. I know, I agree, but it's pretty rad. And then she fel call cacophony no longer affects giving and receiving orders, but it does affect channeled spells. So you can now cacophony that pesky little arc node that runs up, which is cool. Her feat no longer affects all the models in her control area at once. It now only allows her to do each fel call in the same turn. So major tune downage on the feat in that respect. Her rat increased 1.
We're at 7 now. Damn.
Yeah, her rat's pretty good. Melee range went up from half to an inch. So most trolls are there. And then Calamity no longer gives +2 to attack and damage against a model unit. It just does -2 defense and armor. It also got 2 more inches of range, so it's easier to put that on there. So straight improvement there, easily a straight improvement. Then she lost Hallowed Avenger for Guardian Protector, kind of the same thing. And then she gained Boundless Charge as a spell.
Nice.
That is fantastic.
So
Boundless Charge is so good.
Yeah, her spell list is better. She's straight up. Cacophony is better, I think, straight up. Even though it doesn't prevent the charge anymore, it really neuters those like cricks and their arc nodes. It shuts that right down. Feat, quite a bit worse. You can no longer feat 45 Cruel Warriors and let them have all 3 or 2 fel calls plus the enemy one. Bummer. But her spell list better. Yeah, way better. So Deafen is solid. Her spray's good with the rat. I like her. I like her a lot, actually. No reason to bring as many warrior models now. Just bring a bunch of war beasts instead, right, Rex? Right. So let's.
I mean, and what I'm seeing here is probably largely affected by the way that most Warlocks got changed too, where like it feels like Privateer is trying to bring the battle closer together for most factions, excluding those with like the super fast arc nodes. But even then, like they want the clash, like they want the grinder, they want all of the models, all of the extra war beasts. So she would have been simply too powerful across the board, left as is. However, she's reached a pretty reasonable spot, that being said. So, going forward, that does not surprise me.
Hey, I'm trying to put the baby to sleep, not you. Knock that crap off. God.
My day off, I didn't have a nap. Leave me alone. Fraser, have you had any experience with Gristle 1?
I have not. It's one of those ones. Actually, Gristle 1 is the only Warlock model I do not own. Apparently, I was waiting for the new sculpt.
Now, was this because she was boring to play, or the model was not pretty?
Neither. I was focusing on the other ones and didn't figure I had the opportunity.
I don't get the model hate for the original sculpt, like at all.
I think it's very plain.
I'm a singer, though. I'm a singer, and it's totally an opera singing pose. It's totally a singing pose.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I had a criticism of any model, I would say the Madrak 2 model annoys me the most. I think the concept looks really good, but I just don't think they pulled it off very well.
Maybe. It actually is the specific pose of a Scottish hammer thrower, though. So,
apparently I don't know my ancestry.
What was that?
Apparently I don't know my ancestry.
Oh. I mean, when I got into the game and people were complaining about it, I went and looked it up, and I was like, oh, that's actually the way they throw the hammer. So, works for me.
Okay.
All right, so let's move down the line, and I think let's just alternate at this point. So Gristle was one Warlock that I used extensively in Mark II, mostly early because people didn't really understand how tilting her feet and her spell list could be. Mostly her fel calls, though. Like, her gun was unbelievable. So, let's go over what she lost. So, she no longer has Inspiration Faction, which makes sense because there are no terror checks anymore. She lost Crescendo, plain and simple. Well, she didn't lose it, but she lost POW on it. So it's it's a POW 5 blast and no direct damage. It's just an AoE template at this point. She lost playlists, which is excellent actually because she can use all of them in the same turn individually, which is super awesome. Now, she lost hyper.
Sorry, I hate to bump. Also, she could use the same one 3 times in a row.
That's what that meant. Oh, that's right. So she had to use all of it individually. So she could literally use knockdown 3 times in a row. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, so feat lost hyper aggressive but gained reposition. She lost arcane bolt. Thank God for deflection. Holy crap, that's awesome. She lost in hospital ground for discord, and I don't know specifically what discord does.
Target model of the spellcaster's battle group gains wailing. While within 5 inches of the model, with wailing, enemy models cannot give or receive orders and cannot cast spells.
Yeah, so she's Gristle 1 now, is basically what's up. I mean, that's basically... Wailing is 5 inches from model unit of all of that, which is ridiculous.
That is.
Oh, it's model. So it's model, but wow, that is super powerful. Giving Wailing up is crazy.
Just run your new cheap Night Troll up in there and put Wailing on it. Yeah.
Or your incredibly cheap Earthborn that's still as hard to kill as it was before.
That's true. It's true. It's true. I'm just saying, the Night Troll's pretty boss. I can't wait to talk about him.
We'll get to that one. She lost in hospitable ground. That's good. I mean, terrain denial was a huge problem in Mark 1 where people simply did not understand how good it was to be able to deny people who did not have Pathfinder a way to win the game. So, good on you there. 26 War Beast points, up from 3, which is crazy. I think she's the second lowest, but still really, really good. Not only that, but the rest stayed the same. Like, she still has the armor while engaged. She still has dash. Like, there's a lot of good stuff there. Plus, don't forget the gun. All right, so let's move on and talk about Doomshaper 3. Fraser, I'll let you go ahead and take the lead on that one.
Okay, so Doomshaper 3, there wasn't a lot of changes, mostly because he was late in the Mark II design. So a lot of thoughts are that a lot of what they were thinking of Mark III already when it came out. So his feat changed. So his feat removed D3. They removed the D3 plus 3 healing when you're taking damage. No, sorry, they removed the... No, that's not right. They removed the 1 fewer die on the attack roll.
No, so instead of taking damage to remove D3 plus 3, you only have to be hit. You don't have to take damage to remove damage anymore.
Oh, that's good. And it's no longer the D3 plus 3. Is it just a straight D3 now?
Still D3 plus 3. So essentially he lost the requirement that they have to be damaged and gained the requirement that they just have to be hit, which is a straight buff to that part of his feat.
Yeah, the only part, they removed enemy attackers roll 1 fewer dice on the damage roll, so they're still rolling the regular amount of dice before they roll.
Right, because that's Ragnar's feat.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Spoilers. There we go. So that was pretty much the only change to Doomshaper 3. Was just the feat change from what I can see. Yeah, and he no longer has goad because they've removed goad from Doomshaper 2 and 3 and left it only on 1.
Yeah. All right, and then the scroll bearer for Doomshaper 3 lost a strength.
And really, does he even have a weapon? Like, does that even come into play?
Oh man, he lost a strength that he doesn't care about. Yeah,
I was gonna say. It's cosmetic.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess
hey, so for those non-existent power attacks that require strength checks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I get to do Doomshaper 2?
Sure.
Yeah.
So Doomshaper 2 went from 6 War Beast points to 27, which is, if you're keeping track, that's a lower jump than most of the others. He of course lost goad. To replace that, he got Field Marshal Overtake. So instead of being able to goad one beast a whole bunch of times, his whole battle group gets Overtake. Yeah. Better!
Yes. Holy crap.
He lost Refuge, which it makes me sad. But again, Overtake, I think getting Overtake for your whole battle group makes up for losing Refuge and goad.
Oh my God, Rock makes him
getting there.
Magic 1.
Yeah.
Rock just like
Yeah.
Rock will ruin your whole life.
Yeah. Rocks balls. Anyways, he lost Sunder Spirit, which is the one that takes Animus away from other dudes. So darn. And then he gained Hex Blast, which rad. I'll take Hex. Yeah, not purification. And then he gained a weird spell called Psycho Surgery, and I got to remember what this one does.
It's
Each
the one that
model in the
heals-
spellcaster's battle group currently in its control can immediately remove D3+1 damage points. This model can only be cast once per activation.
Oh, it heals his whole battle group, right?
Each model, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That to
Yeah,
me
that's-
sounds.
that's-
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's bonkers. Anyways, so they don't kill your stuff. You're gonna heal it all the way back up, anyways. Which I like this version of Doomshaper 2. Feat's the same. All of his other abilities on his weapons and stuff, that's all the same. Really.
Primal Shock.
Say what?
Still has Primal Shock.
Yeah. Still has Primal Shock. They gave that to.
And Wild Aggression.
Give that to him. And he still has Wild Aggression, which with Overtake is going to be pretty rad. I like Overtake better than Goad because it's way more fury efficient. Anyways, so that's good. There's a reason why Mulg's the only heavy with reach right now, and that would be why.
Hey, 1-inch reach on Rock ain't too shabby right now.
Yeah, 1-inch reach on most our heavies and most our lights is happy right there. So I like him. Like I said, I think solid increase in strength.
Well,
across
and
the board
now I couldn't confirm this. I don't remember where I heard it, but the pieces are no longer limited to only in activation movement, right?
Say that again.
Like huge bases, or at least colossals and gargantuans, can move out of activation now, right?
I'm not sure. I haven't been paying attention to that.
I've heard that somewhere, which makes this and the Mountain King
Yeah.
so much better.
Well, my two new favorite beasts in the whole Trollblood army are the Glacier and Mountain King. So
Yeah, right?
those are my favorites, hands down. So, yep. Anyways, he's really good, and he can bring a lot more beasts now. He has a lot more bang for his buck, where he went from 7 to 29. Essentially, that's one more heavy that he can include in his battle group than he did before, and he still gets the extra distance on the feet with everybody. Add in Overtake, and you got to get Doomshaper far enough upfield so your Assassination Run works. It's going to be good. Going to be good, ladies and gentlemen.
And I find it interesting that his beast points went up to 27 from 6, where Doomy 3 went from up to 26, so one less, but he started at 3 points. So I'm wondering why they felt the need to rebalance that. Was Doomy just
Well, they turned that's just they tuned Doomshaper 3 down just a smidge.
Okay.
And they made his feet less strong, essentially. And then they took away Goad, and so what you're seeing there is that's how they offset it. Looks like it, anyways. I don't know. I can't imagine what they're thinking, but if that was me, that's how they offset it. They're like, oh, we'll just let him take more beasts.
That would make sense.
So I don't know where Goris went. Did we lose him?
No.
I'm still.
Oh man, it got all
You guys talk for one.
it got all quiet. I'm like, did his computer crash? What happened?
No, he just put us on mute.
Oh, I see. He doesn't want to talk to us anymore.
So let's shift into Doomshaper. Do you want to cover that one, Matt?
All right. We're moving on to Doomshaper. Okay, so we'll talk about Doomshaper 1. Now, he gained a really interesting ability on his melee weapon, which is called a Curse, which actually removes focus and fury points on the model that it hits. Focus and fury on hit on a Warlock. Can we say Doomshaper 1 Assassination Run, please?
I wouldn't have said it in Mark 2, that's for sure.
Nobody says that. All right, so that's a cool ability. It is interesting in that now you cannot simply ignore Doomshaper if you're close to him. Like, the game gets down, you're waiting, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to charge, boost hit, oh, and I win. I mean, there's almost no way Doomshaper does not kill you. He's actually got a pretty respectable POW strength on the weapon at 12. Not 5, but eh. And he can still, put anything else he wants on you at that point. So, pretty interesting ability right there. So, let's look at what he lost. So, he lost Banishing Ward in favor of a spell called Disillusion, which is
Enemy upkeep
close to what he
spell.
used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, enemy upkeep in the spellcaster's control range immediately expire. All right. When an enemy spell expires as a result of Disillusion, the model maintaining the spell suffers D3 damage. Holy crap!
Yep.
It's more expensive than Purification,
But better.
the return on investment is ridiculous. You just basically can't have upkeep spells. Or you can just lose your caster in 2 turns. It's ridiculous.
Not to mention it doesn't affect you anymore. That was my biggest issue when casting it in Mark II, was you wind up taking out your own stuff as much as everyone else's. Or your
Yeah,
opponent.
absolutely. Well, and that was the downside before, but there really is no freaking downside.
No, it's all win.
Well, I was upset when they said that Protectorate would be the only faction with Purification. I went, oh man! And then they showed us this. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Sure.
Yeah, perfectly fine with that.
You keep
All right,
your purification.
And then we lost Banishing Word in favor of a spell called Guardian Beast. Now, once per turn, when an enemy model advances, oh my lord, the zoom on this is terrible. When a model advances and ends its movement within 6 inches of the spellcaster, choose a War Beast in the spellcaster's battle group that is in the control range. The War Beast can immediately make a full advance toward the enemy model and then make an attack. Make one attack on the targeted model, enemy model. Attack and damage rolls on that model are boosted. Seems pretty good. It's like a buffed up protective fit for free. Well, for 3 Fury. Ultimately great. Feels like Hallowed Avenger, but better, and it costs more. Good for him, honestly. And if you have Mulligan in the battle group, it makes it even better. Crit Smite's awesome because it's boosted, and yeah, I mean, just good. His spell list across the board got better, I feel. He has 29 beast points, second highest in the faction. So you will see large battle groups from him.
Yep.
Sadly, no more Runes of War. You'll have to get creative, people. You're gonna have to build your own lists and play them out. I think he's awesome, and I think he's awesome enough to play outside of normal tier lists. So let's hope there's some good list innovation there.
And
Fraser,
again,
you played a whole lot of Runes of War. What do you think about this?
I like it. I like the fact we keep Rampager. That was something I found was a nice little hidden gem that people often forgot about. The feat's still fantastic. It's just my biggest thing is remembering to pop it when I need to, because I'm notorious in my local group for remembering all my feats except Do Me One. So, but no, I'm excited to see him again, and again I'm excited to see him out of the Ruins tier, just because he brings so much potential now.
One of the best feats in the game if used properly.
Agreed. Completely shut them down. And you always wind up. I always find that opponents are willing to take a bit of a chance, and then always winds up they roll a couple 6s in a row, and then they put themselves into a bad spot.
Absolutely. All right, so in rotation, Fraser, then you get to talk about the Hunter's Grim.
So Grim 2. Let's bring the sheet up and see if I can read this one this time. Here we go. So Grim 2, he went from 4 beast points up to 25, which I think is one of the on the low end. And then he lost, because I'm scrolling back and forth. Looks like he, wait a minute. So maybe I'm not reading this right. So
I think that the Grim 2
They're in columns, you guys. They're in columns. Good freaking.
Not actually. The spell things are different.
yeah.
Okay, so he lost granted reposition, and he gained granted reform. That's on mugs.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the wording on mortality changed. It now ignores tough and cannot receive damage and cannot remove damage.
As opposed to cannot be healed.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
That's it. He didn't change very much.
Oh, that's good.
So
Well, again, he was
then
a little later.
Then they reworded circular vision just a little bit, because essentially circular vision still requires that you can see what you're hitting, but it makes you immune to backstrikes.
And
Nice, I like.
And his feet stayed pretty much the same, correct?
Yeah, snipe for everything and plus and rain and oh god, that ability. I used to know this way back when a mark target. So models within 5 inches of a friendly faction model in your control area gain mark target, which is +2 attack rolls against that model, ranged attack rolls. Seems pretty good. Given the beef up of all of the ranged models that we have now, I might actually field this unit of sluggers that I own.
When we get to that, we'll talk about how they balance taking First Strike away from everything. I think it's pretty good. So
I agree.
Range isn't as good as we all hoped, but they made up for it in other abilities. That makes sense.
Yeah, and now Grimm's own personal threat is slightly diminished because, again, we talked about how mage sight is so limited and he doesn't have the goggles anymore like previous. But, I mean, that gun at 17 inches with Far Strike at POW 13 and Rat 8, Jesus, like, you can't just ignore
Far
that.
Strike's cheaper for him now, so...
Exactly. It makes his personal threat even better.
Yeah.
Because now you can boost, and cast a spell, and be way far away. Like, ugh.
Yeah, his gun's
oh my god, the War Wagon with him is so good. Like, so good. Like, the feed turn, the War Wagon's just like, I'm going to move up, shoot 1,000,000 inches, move forward again, and then provide a big 2-inch bubble of marked target without engaging anything, and then the rest of my army's just gonna freaking destroy you.
Yeah, amen. We haven't talked about the War Wagon yet. Knock it off.
It's so good, though. Sorry, no spoilers.
That's
actually,
like 2 podcasts away.
It's on the internet already, so we can discuss it as much as we want.
Oh, all right. Okay, that's fair, Middleton. So... Yeah, Grimm 2, like, obviously with the last couple casts released, they had Mark 3 in mind. Obviously. Not a lot of changes to the last couple released casters, which is fine because we liked how they played, so I'll take it.
Yep, I will as well. I love Hunter's Grimm 2. The one thing that you need to remember, though, going into playing Hunter's Grimm is that the level of complexity that their unit has is pretty strong. Like, you need to remember, like, how to use their unit in coordination and properly. So read the card, and when I started playing Hunter's Grimm, I had a flashcard for myself to make sure that I did all of the things that they could do and make sure that I did not forget anything. So if you're gonna go and dive into Hunter's Grimm in Mark III, make yourself a flashcard so that you can remember how to do it.
I messed them up a ton. Yeah,
exactly. So Hunter's Grimm, awesome.
It's like Long Riders, folks. If you're going to use them, you need the cheat sheet because you'll forget stuff.
All right, so Dallas, I'm going to give you Jarl Scold.
Tweet. So Jarl Scold, even though Fraser apparently has never even looked at him.
I have the model.
Don't know how.
I have the model. I just didn't know his last name. We're on a first-name basis.
Man, so his beast points went from 6 to 30. He's the highest in the faction as far as beast points are concerned. It's a few points. It's not a big deal. He lost evasive and got dodge. It's the same thing. He gained Field Marshal Swift Hunter, which is pretty rad for his battle group. Kill something and move. That's pretty rad. And then Wield Secrets changed like you did on Grimm. Just allows you to get Pathfinder and Hunter. And Hunter is not ignoring forests. Hunter is ignoring concealment and cover. So say he didn't change very much, actually.
I think that's awesome, though. Like, that gives his ranged battle group, like, that much more power.
His ranged battle group's solid with Swift Hunter, and his spell list is even better with things like Fenblades. So.
Yeah, oh god, can you imagine how freaking awesome Blitzer's going to be with Jarl?
Yeah, Blitzer's going to be rad.
Oh, yeah.
He got Rat 6. Yeah. He's got D3 all the time. He
always did, but he has his melee. So I don't know if you've noticed, they reworded Virtuoso and Gunfighter into one ability called Dual Attack, and it's better than Virtuoso and Gunfighter combined. So pretty solid. Yeah, pretty solid. So anyways, Scold not changed much. Still don't know how his feats can interact with Eyeless Sight, things like that. Hopefully it works on living models, even if they can ignore concealment and cover. I feel like that was a change that was made because people were loud on the forums. But we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, Scold, I like him. I like his sculpt. He's got a lot of flavor. Might be fun doing a Highwayman themed list with him now. The Highwaymen in Greece, although they're expensive. So we'll have to see how that goes. But anyways, that's all I have to say about Skull. Not much different.
All right, so since I want to talk about Madrak 2, Fraser, you get to talk about Madrak 1.
Well, there's a
Okay.
whole long list. Fraser, do you
Let's
want me
see.
to take it? There's a whole long list.
Well, we can take
Can you
you
read
here.
Can you read my spreadsheet?
I
Okay,
can.
I'm gonna.
I'll read I'll start with the thing that I can actually read.
I'm gonna correct you as you go.
So he is, for point cost, he's going from 6 War Beast points to 29, which is very high. He has going from, let's see, get to the right section here. So it looks like he lost Snapfire, which has been replaced by Ricochet.
Right. So in Mark 1, Ricochet was better than Snapfire. We all got mad when they took Ricochet away and put Snapfire back on him. So they gave Ricochet back, which is rad. What that is you hit something with a ranged attack with Madrak, and then it bounces off that person, and you get to hit something else within 4 inches of what you just hit.
And you
That's so
choose.
much
You don't
better.
have to target.
Yeah. You just choose and hit them. It's pretty rad.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So,
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there, but I'm pretty excited about getting Ricochet back.
No, by all means, jump on it all you want. So, Talisman of Subdual was replaced by Blood Boon. And
So Talisman of Sedul was the one that made it so Warbeast couldn't charge him,
Okay.
which everyone forgot about. And Blood Boon is, I think, when he kills something in melee or hits something in melee, he can make a
Kills
free.
a model, period, gets
When he
cast
kills-
a spell, cost
Okay,
less.
so when he kills a model, he can cast a spell for free.
Okay.
So,
And it's
which is he has
Fury 3
one
or
he's going
less,
to cast.
correct, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have anything more though. He's only Fury 5, so.
So in the feat, he lost Overtake and Crusher attack, but now all models in his control gain a ranged or melee attack. Is that after
For
they-
free, 1 additional per.
So,
So everybody gets to attack ranger or melee once in addition to during that turn.
It's
Okay.
it's a slightly worse version of Madrak 2's Mark II feat.
okay.
Yeah, which
And-
basically stated that every model in melee you got to make an attack against, and then you get to make the additional range attack if you had it.
Okay.
So,
And
not
he-
as good.
But he did go up by 1 armor, which is good.
Yes.
He lost Stranglehold and Guided Hand, but managed to gain Carnage and Stonefall, and Surefoot went down by one Fury. Let's see, Carnage. I'm trying to remember what Carnage does.
No. Dallas got guided hand and carnage backwards.
Did I?
He gained guided hand and lost carnage.
I
Lost
mix this-
Stranglehold
Oh yeah, I mixed those up.
and Surefoot cost less.
Yeah, Surefoot costing less is awesome.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And let's talk about this a little bit because we hinted on it a little before that because of Blood Boon, Madrak has the possibility of casting Carnage twice in a turn because he has Ricochet, because he could potentially kill 2 models with his act.
Yeah, that's balls. I love it.
That is pretty impressive.
It's okay in context of your opponent has no personal threat to Madrak and they have lots of units that are clumped up, and Madrak could even hit what he would be casting that spell at.
You know, it's also Madrak charges in because your front lines have finally clashed to the point where Madrak has to mix it up, and he kills a bunch of stuff that's in front of him and throws the spell out for funsies 3 or 4 times.
See, but that's the thing. He wouldn't kill a bunch of stuff. He would kill 2 things if he saved his feet until that point.
2
Without
things.
spending any
No,
fury.
no. What if he buys extra attacks?
Well, he could do that, but if he's in the mix, why would he do that? He would be there to remove high-priority targets or to clear a lane. Like,
Right.
It doesn't make sense to throw him in there without having him camp.
Yeah,
He's
but
still
that
part-
helps him. That helps him clear a lane. I mean,
Yeah,
it helps clear infantry. It's not going to do anything to anything else. But you're not.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you could have a high-impact turn if your opponent has no way to punish you for spending a bunch of fury to get a bunch of free spells to kill a bunch more models. So
Yeah.
it's highly situational and cool, and
This
At the same time,
you're
it's
never
sport.
gonna cast. You're never gonna cast the spell, ever, unless you get it for free.
yeah, absolutely.
Right? You're not casting Stonefall unless it's free. And I think we all wish it was Stranglehold.
True.
I don't even care if it was Stranglehold, to be quite honest. Like,
Dude, I cast Stranglehold all the time because it made him. Yeah, it
he
made
didn't
him.
have it. He had no offensive spells.
He had Stranglehold.
Did he?
Yeah, you just never used it.
Ah.
Stranglehold was cheaper and required that you damage them, but making them forfeit their movement or their action and it wasn't shakeable was huge.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
especially in Battle Box games.
Yeah, I've never used that spell on him.
Well, that's your fault.
That being said, like, I think his kit is good. His personal threat is good. His support for his army is good. He will be relatively the same as before, but less crazy good with a Beast Brick.
Yeah, they took away the Beast Brick.
So, I don't know. I like him. I love that I can now bring an Impaler and have a reasonable impact on a game with Madrak, where he's just like, pop, 2 really important models just gone.
Yeah. Well, I gotta tell, we also didn't talk about the change in Surefoot. So Surefoot's no longer a 3-inch bubble. It's now a target model unit.
Which is awesome!
Yeah, it's pretty good.
See, when I played Madrak, it was almost always as in the battle boxes. So the bubble was fantastic because I just clumped all my beasts together and they all did what they needed to do.
Well, that was the point of the Beast Brick.
And that's
now,
the problem with the battle box. You don't clump the battle box together unless you want to lose.
So now you look at Madrak, and Madrak can just be like, "Hey, you Fenblades, you're gonna vanguard my entire army with a giant unit of dudes that are faster than my entire opponent's army." With +2 defense, cannot be knocked down, which means that they're always tough, and they have cleave.
Oh yeah. I think we're all very excited about that. But that's for another episode.
I'm more excited of putting them on my champions and making my champions defense 16 weapon masters.
They can't be knocked down when they're not engaged or when they're not base to base.
Yep, I like that idea. Plus you throw the stone on them and they're armor 18 and have power strength of 12 instead of 11 or 11 instead of 10.
They're 11 weapon master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That second unit of champions is in my near future.
That's pretty good. Plus, let's not forget guided hand on a unit. Additional die on attack rolls.
Yeah, guided hand's fabulous.
It is.
That's so good. Oh, Fenblades again. God. Like you don't need them to survive. You just need them to hit.
Yep.
And they have cleave. Oh God, nerd muscle. All right. So, I was initially very underwhelmed by Madrak 1. I'm no longer underwhelmed by.
Yeah,
Madrak.
the more I think about him, he's just solid. He's just solid.
Agreed.
He is, and he's not a feat anymore. He's not a walking feat anymore.
Yeah.
I will miss the days when I can simply surf an army with Mulg to the caster and win.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
But instead,
I think we can all agree that's why his feet changed and why Mulg got crunched.
Yeah. Instead, though,
let's talk about Madrak 2, huh?
Yes, please.
Oh, he's so good.
Okay, so Madrak 2, he gained a field marshal, which is relentless charge. Holy crap! Why did he need that? Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He lost the spell Tide of Death, which was the control-wide spell that allowed everybody to charge for free and gain Pathfinder. Not a big deal.
That hurts a little bit, but we have relentless charge on the battle group anyways.
Which is fantastic.
Since we're bringing a bunch more beasts, that's fine.
He has relentless charge, which is excellent. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest things of his survivability, which is actually better than the way that it used to work before. Grim Salvation is now 3 inches up from 1, and instead of just removing the model, it transfers the damage and effects directly to models within 3 inches of him.
All damage and effects.
So now, warders are basically the biggest sponge in Trollblood. I don't know how you kill Madrak now. Like, that's an effective 25 extra boxes that you can have for a very inexpensive price that also occupy space, take damage, and do damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ridiculous trade-off.
That's
Grim
pretty good.
Salvation was good
Hey,
before because there was
Pretty good on Cruel Warriors too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and previously what you could do was like you could in Mark 1 you could overload a model with damage. Like there were ways to simply one-shot all kinds of crap, and Grim Salvation took care of that. But the bad part about that is that people who could paper cut you for 1 damage a pop would take away those models very quickly. Now the damage doesn't matter, so the sponge that you put around him is the biggest amount of damage that you could possibly do. So you think you are in a position to posture for a big scenario win, and your opponent could potentially have to do 40 damage. You could literally just throw every model around you, throw Madrak in to do the biggest impact that he could, and then leave him there with everything around him. And if they don't kill all of it first, or have a way to remove the priority targets around him that are, all within 3 inches, everything's going to be really, really hard to deal with. So crazy. Now, let's talk about the change in feat. Now, before, all models in his control area could make a melee attack against everything in their melee as part of the feat, and it was simultaneous. In addition, models with ranged attacks could make an additional one regardless of rate of fire. Now, models in his control area simply gain Berserk and Overtake.
Hell yeah.
Holy crap.
It's Crusher 2.0.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Now you have the most potent offensive Warlock, and with the better feat now.
Yeah, I know.
Well, so how? And he didn't lose the thing where he gains fury from killing stuff.
No, he still has.
So he has an offensive spell that we haven't talked about yet. But so you feat, you walk through a unit, you get 8 fury, and you drop that spell boosted attack and damage twice.
But think about it like this, okay? Now Madrak himself can give himself Weapon Master, can give him.
Yeah.
Berserk and Overtake. What lives?
Yep.
Yeah.
What lives?
He's going wherever he wants.
What lives? And with a Power Troll, he's still +2 damage, so he's POW 17 Weapon Master. And he still gains Fury. What lives? Nothing lives. How do you win against Madrak 1? That's the question.
Madrak 2.
Madrak 2.
He's gonna be pretty balls. He's gonna be pretty good. I mean, you're gonna have to, if you throw any infantry at him, he's gonna get so strong by the time he gets to your hard targets that you're just not gonna be able to stop him. But if you come with a high armor beast heavy list, you've got a chance, because then you weather his tools a little better.
I mean, it's even then.
It's pretty good.
I mean, you can still so picture it in a world where Fen are still as fast and still as good as they are. Fen Blades, even if you leave a few of them alive, still become Mat 8, POW 12 Weapon Master with Cleave. 4 of them kill. 5 of them kill a Warlock, or not a Warlock, a Warpwolf. 5, if you're dead average with the new stats. 5 of them kill a Warpwolf. That's one awesome. Heavy.
Warpwolves are pretty good.
Heavy.
The new Warpwolves are pretty good.
They are pretty good. But that's 5 models for the exact same, for half the cost, kill that model.
Yeah.
Because they out-threat it and they can't do anything about it. Now you take into effect that you have an ability to remove those models early because you have more bodies, more force amplification, and then Madrak, the end game, if you don't have a way to stop him from getting where he wants to go, you kind of lose.
No, you don't kind of lose. You lose.
Yeah, you lose. Because he's Mat 10, POW 17, Weapon Master with 1 billion fury. There's nothing stopping him from getting that fury.
Yep.
Well, and he gained an offensive spell, Eruption. So if you kill everything in your melee range and you have a bunch of fury sitting on you, you just throw a POW 14 3-inch AoE that does fire damage on on everybody. And it leaves a bunch of AoEs in place. So even if they've tried to assassinate you and haven't, you can clear everything off of you, and then drop a bunch of Power 14 AoEs that they have to try and walk through to get to you.
Yeah, it's pretty silly.
It's freaking awesome.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Right now, I am looking at some of the information on it. It looks like Madrak 2 might have lost the Fury on kill because of
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't playtest outside of their little group.
Yeah. So it looks like he lost the Game of Fury on attack, which is
man.
That's kind of fine. Mat 12, POW 17, Weapon Master. What doesn't he kill? Or Mat 10, POW 17, Weapon
Well,
Master.
in that case, you're never casting Eruption.
Yeah, never. No, you're saving it for the end game.
So
So, Madrak's busted. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Bets
Even
if he survives any bets if he survives the first errata?
Well, if they already took away the Fury thing, then they're already looking at it. So.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're still looking at the feat's just a little too good. Madrak just kills everything.
Yep.
Hey, Warpath's cheaper now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, I lied. I'm sorry. It's more expensive now.
It does not. It doesn't matter at all. Like at this point, Madrak won't be throwing axes. He's going to throw his army into the enemy and wait for the battle to get close enough to where he can just end it himself.
Yep. Yeah, you're using Blood Fury, and that's it.
Yep. Yeah. Eruption, if like they group up for no reason, and you're just like, yes, I have the Fury. Let's do it.
We haven't talked about it yet, but the command range on everything's gone way down. So clumping's now a thing. They got rid of clumping in Mark II. They've added clumping back into Mark III.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is gonna be really good. Like Madrak 2 is probably the number one Warlock in the faction right now.
Yep. He's pretty close. Calandra's right behind him. Gunbjorn, Calandra.
Yep.
Madrak. Oh man, the pure amount of offense that he puts on the table now is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, think about
ridiculous.
So, Sons of Brag with Blood Fury and the feat.
Don't get me started on Sons of Brag. They're not as good as they were, but they're still good.
Doesn't matter. You know what Rathar
I just said they're still good. Yeah, I do. It's pretty solid.
God, Rathar is just like, I'm Madrak now. Oh man.
Yeah,
so
pretty good.
there was a whole lot of doom and gloom when Mark III was first dropped, and now that we have a peek at the new information, I can definitely say that most of us in the Scrum are reinvigorated. We feel very positive about the fact.
I don't think very many of us came out of the Insider like we were just like, what? Did we miss something? And seeing the spoils that have saturated the internet, I think all of us were like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay with that.
So. Things are back to good.
Oh,
which
absolutely.
Is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
So now I will say that I am now overtly positive about the new Mark III revisions, based on what I've seen on the internet. We will remain calm.
Do we need to talk about Ragnar?
No. He's been out for a while now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just talked about him last episode as well.
Oh, good. Okay, Ragnar's.
I think we're done at this point.
Okay.
Yep.
So are we going to touch on anything else?
No, I think we're good at this point. We're right on our hour mark. Our Fraser is hitting his bedtime.
Okay, before you close it off, though, I'm going to say this. Swamp Trolls and Night Trolls are good. Just saying. Just saying.
See, that is a cliffhanger. Dropping that comment and then cutting it off.
Oh wait, I got one more. The Winter Troll is still garbage.
Oh my god.
What a shame.
So,
okay.
Tune in next week. Same Scrum time, same Scrum channel, and this has been the Scrumcast signing off.